What's up, everybody, and welcome to Around the Monitor for the week of June 26th. I'm your host, King Kaiser, and this is the weekly gaming news talk show where every point you make in the discussion is a point towards winning. Joining me once again, we've got Master Hand Mizuki.
I needed to get my Master Hand.
all the Infinity Stones, too. We've got the Ace Attorney, Dapper Dastard.
I'm on 310 of
Dude,
Wordscapes.
your brilliance is over 9,000.
I downloaded it last Friday.
Wow, you've been blazing through it. Also,
yeah, help me.
You might actually need to reset your webcam. Oh no, okay, good.
Oh, it's good.
It's synced back.
It's not the nice webcam, so it takes a second when I do that shit. But.
We've got the hockey sticks and sickle himself, Ian.
So apparently it's weird to say meow at your cat.
It's not weird, but it's very funny when many people catch you doing it, yes.
Also, I want to emphasize, he didn't meow at his cat. He just said the word meow.
Yeah, he was like, he turned and went, meow.
And, I think it's great.
And last but not least, we've got the voice of the people, Hio 590. Yo. If this is your first time watching, here we talk through the week's news in gaming. Everybody makes their opinions, and whoever has the best opinions, or opinions that get more points, I guess, wins for that week. If you are watching live, you can influence the show by giving votes on the channel points. If you're not watching live, you can watch us live by going to twitch.tv/KingKaiser. Otherwise, we go up the very next day on YouTube and Apple iTunes podcasts. Already, Reliant K is giving a point to Hio for having the intro of a champ, and I cannot deny that. But let's go through the... To start the show, we normally start off with a trivia question to determine the order. My question for you all this week is, as of 2018, how much money has the intellectual property that is Pokemon made?
Oh.
Remarkable Me in the chat says $6.
Some ungodly amount of money.
1.5 billion.
1.5 bill.
10 bill.
10 bill.
3 bill.
3 bills. Bill, not a science guy.
Bill.
22 bill. Correct answer is 59.1 billion.
Jesus.
So yeah, I mean, Pokemon, most valuable intellectual property in the world. So that means the order is going to be Mizuki, followed by, I believe, Ian, then Dapper, then Hio.
Fuck, man.
Hey, the good news is we've got a lot of topics. Good topics, too. Going through those right now, though, we've got Nintendo announces it wants to step away from mobile games. Followed up by Nintendo announces a new Pokemon-themed MOBA game for phones and Switch.
For mobile, yeah.
Yep. The Epic Game Store is finally catching up to Steam in terms of engagement numbers. The games industry has been rocked this week with a wave of abuse allegations. Mixer's upper management faces racism accusations, followed up quickly by Mixer is shutting down effective next month. They are partnering with Facebook Gaming now. Following that, Ninja and Shroud refused to continue with the Facebook contract. They now are free agents, and they also get all the money that they were promised initially. Facebook also has acquired Ready at Dawn, the studio known for hits like The Order 1886. That is a joke.
Why you gotta pick like their worst game?
Yeah, that's fair. Shaun Layden, the former Sony executive, says that AAA games should be shorter. Suda51 revealed gameplay for No More Heroes 3 in the most troll way. I hope you all watch this video because it is very funny. Sony offers a bounty of $50,000 if people can expose a security flaw in the PlayStation 4. And it seems Rocksteady's new game is going to be a Suicide Squad themed one. Musica Europe first. What would you like to take for your very first topic?
Let's just dive into this head first.
Oh boy,
So,
I know where this is going.
let's talk about the video games industry's abuse problem.
Yeah,
Because it is wide and it is deep.
this is a pretty wild week for just about everybody. Take it away.
So, accusations, probably mostly, if not entirely true, have come out spanning multiple sub-industries within the video game industry. This ranges from writers to directors to game designers to press, of abuses that also range from rape to sexual assault to harassment to, honestly, in some of the occasions, just being a general dick. And
yeah, I'd say they fall into that
like,
category.
oh my god, there are so many, and this is not even anywhere near all of them.
Mm-hmm.
There are a ton of people that are leaving the games industry, getting blacklisted because of this, as they rightfully should be. Some notable ones: Chris Avallone, who was one of the co-founders of Obsidian and has been working on Dying Light 2 and some other games. Ashraf Ishmael, who is the director on the next Assassin's Creed game. And a lot of them they're all very different things. So Chris Avallone was very abusive and abrasive and a sexual predator. Ashraf kind of used his Assassin's Creed director cred to get with Assassin's Creed fans, which is disgusting.
Yeah.
And you have the IGN folks from, none of them actually being there any longer.
True.
But a lot of former IGN editorial leads that were abusive to everyone, man, women alike. Like, they didn't give a fuck. To the point of even, I believe one of the accusers essentially said that the two heads of IGN editorial committed libel. Wouldn't be surprised.
It was basically they forced a story through saying that Amy Hennig was forced out of Naughty Dog as like a power play, which then was like, oh, we didn't have any evidence of that, so there was no reason for us to report that story.
There was no evidence. The writer of that article even tried to get his name removed from it because he knew it was bullshit and had no evidence behind it. And they published it anyway, and he got shit on for it, and Sony got shit on for it, like they all did, and none of it ever happened from the sounds of it. So I would be shocked if Sony lawyers aren't writing up some suits already.
Yeah, I mean, plus
stuff.
I'm sure Neil Druckmann is nice to hear somebody say something actually nice about him this week.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I think this really just. The point of all this isn't even to like cancel all these people. It's not like, hey, you should fire all these people right away. It's to empower people to talk up about these issues as they actually come up instead of waiting years to do it. Because they lose a lot of the clout that they have at, like, if it's 10 years after the fact. If you say it during the time, it's a lot more relevant. And so I think that's a good message that everyone, man, woman, everyone in between alike, needs to take to heart, is if you're being treated like super shittily, if you're being abused, report it. If the people you're reporting it to aren't listening, go further up the chain. If the further up the chain aren't listening, go to, I can't remember the organization, but there's a US government organization for employees. It's not OSHA, it's a different one. It's like Fair Labor Standards or something like that.
Interesting.
Go to them, because this shit's not acceptable. Don't let it happen to you. If you see it happening to other people, bring it up. I know a lot of communities are getting rocked by this right now, of people they thought were super cool that are predators.
Super not, yeah.
Yeah, they're not cool. So everyone out there, police your own communities. Like, you don't need to be a leader. You just need to be able to report shit that you see as bad and call people out for shitty behavior.
And that being said, too, if people are waiting a while to report something, don't yell at them for not reporting it when it happens. Still take their report
they're risking their careers and livelihoods to report this. Odds are they are not lying.
Yes. Moving on from that extremely uplifting story, Ian, what would you like to take for your first topic?
On that note, let's talk about this fucking Pokemon League of Legends thing.
For God's sake, man. Go ahead.
Take care of it.
I'm sorry. So Pokemon, the Pokemon company, they had like a little direct couple days ago, and then yesterday they had like at the end of the first one, they were like, oh, and we've got another announcement on the 24th. And then yesterday they came out with this announcement. They're making a mobile and Switch League of Legends style, so MOBA, Pokemon game.
Yeah.
It's developed by Tencent.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Pokemon Unite. It looks very bad. It looks awful. And listen, I'm not a huge League of Legends player.
It'll take the topic.
Damn.
But this looks like, so for one, mobile MOBAs are bad. They never run well. They just cannot capture what a MOBA should be. This one specifically looks like a really dumbed down version, which a whole lot of the strategy and the appeal behind these things is their complexity, is how deep they can be. Something like this, I don't see the appeal of. On that note, it's ugly. And the most egregious thing is fucking Tencent. Listen, Tencent is terrible. They're responsible for a whole lot of civil rights, like liberties being taken away. They're heavily associated with the Chinese government, which I'm not going to say too much on, but they're not good.
Why is that, Ian? Because they're also communist?
Don't get me started.
You want to betray
don't
your
get him
brothers?
started.
Sorry, your comrades?
They are not. They are very much so not.
Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised that the Pokemon Company is working with Tencent because, listen, everyone's doing it these days.
It's true. It is the thing to
Capcom's
do.
done it. Fucking Activision Blizzard's doing it.
Ubisoft, Epic. It's everybody.
Yeah, it's everybody because the Chinese market is huge and Tencent owns the Chinese gaming market, like pretty much in its entirety.
Yeah. It's the thing where
There's NetEase.
I think they it's true, there is NetEase. I think honestly them partnering with Tencent on this makes total sense because the biggest mobile game in China, which is effectively the biggest game in China, is a MOBA. I think just slapping a Pokemon, skin on that is gonna sell gangbusters. I don't really know how popular Pokemon is in China, but I imagine it's at least
sure
a
it's very
recognizable IP.
Question. Tencent is the company that is distributing the Switch in China too, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to get a Chinese distributor to do it. You can't do it yourself.
And Tencent is the largest tech company in China. Anything else to add on this, Ian, before we move on?
Just want to say fuck Tencent. Listen,
solid point.
and this game looks bad. I will not play it.
Listen, this game looks bad. I probably will play it. Dapper, you're up next. What would you like to take for your first topic?
I think I might stay on. I think I might talk about Nintendo stepping away from mobile games.
Okay.
This
It's
is
a
pretty
good
interesting,
reverse
actually.
tail end to that last conversation.
This article is actually pretty interesting.
It is.
So basically, what we got is a Bloomberg report that says Nintendo is not really happy with the financial performance of its mobile games, and it does not, and for the foreseeable future, has no plans to create any new mobile games. Focusing again, trying to keep all of its focus on the Switch. So that part made sense because the Switch is doing very well.
Insanely
Animal
well.
Crossing sold like gangbusters. So focusing on the Switch, I mean, that makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting to see them sort of ditch the mobile because obviously I don't know what their expectations and what their what all the exact expectations were, but their mobile output had grossed 1 billion. And while I really hadn't heard a lot of talk about some of the stuff, like Mario Kart Tour, I really heard nothing about.
Yeah.
Like, no one cared about it at all. But, like, Fire Emblem Heroes, I mean, that dumbass, like, bundle membership thing they did.
Oh, the
probably,
subscription service, yeah. It was like $7 a month for a mobile game.
Yeah, and I bet you a bunch of people did it, and it probably made them ass loads of money.
Oh, for sure.
So it's weird to say that they're underwhelmed by the financial performance because it's definitely making money. What's even weirder, though, is that also in this article, it says Nintendo was trying to get developers to adjust the game so that players spend less, which makes it sound like they weren't primarily motivated to make the most money possible.
So what you
then seems odd with them saying they're stepping down because it's not making enough money.
Listen, guys, stop being so greedy. Don't make our games make us so much money. Also, Nintendo, listen, guys, we got to stop these mobile games. They're not making us enough money.
Right. Guys, I want these mobile games to make us less money. Oh man, we're not making enough money. Something doesn't add up.
Yeah. It's a very weird.
In some way, yeah, I think something in this article is a guess at what Nintendo's thinking and not actually what Nintendo's thinking. Which, again, I think just overall makes this kind of weird because I feel like Nintendo has a lot of properties that they could turn into successful mobile games, like Mario Kart and like Fire Emblem. You could find you could find ways to put more Mario games on phone. You could find a way to turn a Legend of Zelda game into a 2D phone game. They could find ways to do it, but I mean, I guess at the end of the day, I'd rather them focus on the Switch console. So this is good news for me, I guess.
Yeah,
I just I don't exactly understand the reasoning, and I think part of it comes down to someone trying to guess what Nintendo's thinking and not being correct.
It's very weird because I think it was last year there was a piece where one of the heads of the company was basically, it was reported that they were telling like Dragalia Lost and other mobile game studios to be like, hey, don't make our game like our microtransactions so egregious because we don't like the way that like makes us look as Nintendo.
Right.
But then at the same time, you can't be like, oh, well, why aren't our games making us as much money on phones as we thought they would? And it's like, well, you're not doing the same stuff that everybody, which like I applaud them for. I applaud them for not being the same shitty people like pumping out all these gachapon games, but like it's what works for a reason, unfortunately, because gamers are too stupid to not keep paying them. Whatever.
Sounds like it was making them money though.
Yes, so it was.
Like,
it was.
Again,
they're
so
like
again,
major...
something doesn't add up, but at the end of the day, it might not really matter because better Switch games is the better result anyway.
Yeah, I think a good summation of this is Remarkable Me in the chat saying, I can't handle all this money that I may or may not be making. And yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad, actually. That's a good way to put it.
Hayo, you've got the last topic for the first round. What would you like to talk about?
We'll talk about Ninja and Shroud.
Okay.
Making off with like thieves, you know.
Literally so much money. So much money.
Hell yeah.
Take it away.
So, back when Mixer was first telling people that it existed, it was by spending goo gobs of money to like pull over like what? 3 big Twitch streamers. And I think around the time we talked about it, we were kind of like, oh yeah, this is really good for them. Good for Mixer?
Yeah.
Not really. We'll see. And apparently, no, not great for Mixer because they aren't around anymore.
Yeah.
But they signed, specifically Ninja and Shroud, multi-million-dollar contracts for multiple years of streaming. And then they were like, actually, you guys just go ahead and take the money. And you want to move over to Facebook? We'll like double, maybe even triple what you're making. And they're like, nah, we're good. We just made like $100,000 a day to stream for a year instead of like 6. Like, we're chilling now. They can do whatever they want at this point. They got to be on top of the fucking world at the moment. They both made a couple tweets like, "Hey, we're gonna keep you guys updated on what we're doing. Like, we're gonna move forward even stronger and happier than before." And it's like, did they even need to say anything? It's like, yeah, guys, we just made millions of dollars in a year. Mm-hmm. It's like, we don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I'm chilling, dude. I don't have to stream anymore. I think Ninja on his way out was just donating hundreds of dollars to people who were like wearing his merch on stream and stuff. And it's like, these guys, I actually don't like have too much to say other than like, congrats to them. It's very cool seeing like other big streamers like big them up for leaving Twitch and then for like making off with all this money. They're like, you guys fucking are killing it. Great job. Way to play video games for a living and get, take advantage of people who aren't 100% sure how to capitalize on that.
Yeah.
Like,
it's wild.
That's a very good situation.
I to add to this, this week on Instagram, there's a guy who I follow who I've never actually watched his streams because he streams on Mixer. And why would I go to Mixer to watch anybody stream? But he basically like put up like a Instagram live video being like, "Hey everybody, I haven't been streaming for a few days since they announced that Mixer is dying because I'm trying to figure out what my life is going to be after this." And he's like, "I guess I'm going to Facebook gaming. I don't know." And I was like, "Oh man, that's gotta suck to be in that position." Like you're like he wasn't a major streamer, but he was big enough that he was making his livelihood off of Mixer. And so for this to be like, I'm to that echelon, but I'm not Ninja or Shroud and getting these like $10 or $30 million payouts right now. What does this guy do? Like, he's got a wife and a kid. I'm like, I feel bad for you, dude. I do not think going to Facebook gaming is the way to go, but God bless you.
Don't got a choice now, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, my ass would go back to Twitch, but whatever. I don't know. Maybe try YouTube. It can't be worse than Facebook gaming. God damn. Yeah, Reliant K in the chat says that's rough, buddy. Very good Avatar reference. I appreciate that. Anything else to add to this, Hayo?
No, nothing I could stay on this one. I might have something if I. Never mind. No, nothing for this one.
All right. We're gonna go around again. Musica Europe first. I will actually speed up this round because we took a little long on that first one.
I'm going to talk about Facebook and Ready at Dawn, since I'm the resident only person that plays VR in this group.
True story.
This is very true. Yeah. Take it away.
So honestly, the first line of the story pretty much summarized it. Facebook has acquired Ready at Dawn Studios. If you aren't familiar with Ready at Dawn, yes, they made The Order 1886.
It's the only game they made.
They made a lot of other games, all of which were better than The Order 1886.
Yeah, that's
They made the God of War mobile, or not mobile games, like PSP Vita games. Mm-hmm. They made Daxter, which I know we shit on before, but that actually is a pretty good Metacritic score. They also have recently been making Lone Echo, Echo Arena, Echo Combat. They're working on Lone Echo 2, all of which have been working with Facebook and Oculus Studios. Mm-hmm. So it's not a huge surprise that Facebook picked them up, but damn, let me tell you, I'm just really sad that we're not going to get these games outside of like the Oculus format now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because
all of those games are some of the best VR games that are out there right now. And like the God of War PSP Vita games were both fantastic. Caveat, have not played them myself. That's all secondhand knowledge. But all I've heard about those games has been great. Yeah, they kind of flopped with The Order 1886, but like it really seems like they've learned from it. They're a great studio. The studio's literally 300 feet from the office I work at.
Oh,
and the people there are super cool. Yeah, they're across the parking lot.
You're just brown nosing these guys now.
They're all super nice. I know a couple guys that work there, and like they're all great. And like I'm happy for them. I'm glad they're getting picked up by a big company that's going to give them a good budget to make really high quality games. I'm sad that people outside of the Oculus environment will probably not get to play these games. Like PSVR, zero chance you're playing this shit. Vive, you can still kind of play them, but it's complicated.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the good side of this is it does show that Facebook is committed to VR and to Oculus, so at least they're going to keep developing that. I mean, again, I wish it wasn't Facebook who was doing this, but
who knows, dude? Because they could just pull Microsoft and spend $100 million acquiring a studio, and then a year later be like, "Ooh, you know what? The Oculus is dead."
Yeah. Or hey,
it'll just be Mixer all over again.
They could be Google and invest billions of dollars into Stadia, and it could still be a trash product.
I mean, to be fair, Oculus is already better than Stadia has any hope of being.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. I do want to call out this conversation in the chat because it's very good. Remarkable Mate says, "I live in VR." Hayo says, "That's just called reality. You live in R." It's very funny to me. Ian, what would you like to talk about for your second topic?
A former Sony exec has called to make games that are shorter and cheaper to make. This was Shaun Layden, former chairman for Sony Executive Entertainment Worldwide Studios, and he said basically, "I'd welcome the return of the 12 to 15 hour game." Thank you. Fucking thank you.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is very much a Fisher topic as well. So please carry the torch for him on this one.
Listen, this is a me topic too. I've said it before, like I play a lot of different games, and I adore a good 5 to 15 hour game. It's the perfect time for me to get into it, to get stuck in, to learn what I need to learn, and then have something finished at the end of a day or a weekend or a week or whatever. I recently played through the fucking Tomb Raider reboot games. Those are 10 hours each.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love them, and part of what I love so much about it is the sense of accomplishment of just, I did a thing. So many games now are either 100 hours, if you're talking a bunch of JRPGs, or 60 hours seems to be a good... one of the landmarks, 20 hours, 25 for the more AAA linear cinematic adventures, such as The Last of Us, Uncharted, whatever. And after, I don't know, 15 hours of those, I'm done with it. And at the end, I'm just thinking, I want to finish this to have it finished, less so than to actually keep playing it. And then obviously there's so many games that are, the games as a service that are expected to be, this is the game you play.
Yeah.
I play Warframe. And it's the one game I play, and it's, there's a content drought. I'm leaving Warframe. I'm quitting Warframe. Right? There's other games, and I want to play all the other games. Games are cool, y'all. Games are good, and I want to play them.
Games are
good. And if they're all 100 hours, I can't play them.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that statement.
Yeah. Also, just the other side of this argument is cheaper to make. Yes, 100%. For one, that means that the fucking monopoly of AAA games, there's the dichotomy between AAA games and indie games, and indie games are, you get a couple people to play it and you make a profit, or you go viral, or you make nothing, and then AAA games are always making super profits unless they're fucking Anthem.
To be fair, I think Anthem actually did sell well in its first month.
Oh, it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm sure there are some AAA games recently that have
made
it. Lawbreakers.
There you go. Boom. Got him.
Sorry, Cliffy B.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just means we're widening the available space for games to occupy, which I think is nothing but a good thing.
Yeah. I think this is a very targeted time for this statement to come out, because most people are playing or finishing up The Last of Us Part 2, which is a 20 to 25 hour game. I was actually saying in the call just before this, I'm in probably the last quarter of the game, and it's paced much better than Uncharted 4. There's not a moment where I'm like, oh, this is a boring hour, boring 2 hours, but I do wish it was just a little bit. I wish I had finished the game already because I've put in like 18 to 20 hours and I'm like, okay, I'm a little done.
I have injured my wrist by playing Warframe all day, every day for the past 2 weeks.
Keep telling people that's why you injured your wrist, Ian.
Heyo.
Sorry, had to make that joke. Dapper, what would you like to talk about for your second topic?
All right. So real quick, I'm entering hour 60 of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I probably still got 60 more to go.
Holy
So
Christ.
excited.
Holy
I'm
Christ.
loving it.
Holy Christ.
Loving it, baby. Give me those 100-hour RPGs. That's my
You sick
business.
bastard. What would you like to talk about?
No, I do think some games need to be shorter though. But I want to talk about the developer of Batman Arkham potentially doing a Suicide Squad game.
Yeah, this is interesting.
So like, I feel like this announcement was met with a lot of skepticism, and I feel bad. I feel like when you hear Suicide Squad, all you can think of is the really crappy movie,
Yeah.
and not the fact that like in the actual comics, the Suicide Squad is like a lot of really cool characters.
Yeah.
And like individual characters from the Suicide Squad have been used in some pretty cool media. Again, Deadshot especially. Maybe like the one cool character from the actual movie, but
Will Smith
actually like
almost carried that
but
entire movie on
he
his
tried his
back.
hardest to carry that movie.
Almost
He really
did it.
But like Deadshot, actually a great character in a lot of different media. So like again, a lot of people are like, Suicide Squad, but like the Suicide Squad has been around for much longer than one shitty movie, and I actually think a Suicide Squad game in the Arkham style could be incredibly cool. Like, let us play as a bunch of different members of the Suicide Squad. Like, let me play as Deadshot for some times. Let me play as, like, Killer Croc for some others. Let me play as, like... Dude, fuck it. Let me play as Captain Boomerang, who's one of the dumbest villains ever created, because he's a guy who just throws boomerang and think, okay, let me play as Captain Boomerang. I'll fucking play that in an Arkham-style game. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Most of those games... I didn't play Arkham Knights, but, like, at the very least, those games are entertaining. And I think Arkham City is, like, close to, if not in my top 5 of games of all time, because of how freaking fun that game is. So this is a long way off from being a thing. We're probably going to see this potential Court of Owls things even before this, if that rumor comes true. But if someone wants to make a Suicide Squad game, and it feels like, again, a Rocksteady classic Arkham game, I am absolutely on board for that, and I think there's potential for that to be crazy fun.
Yeah, I think it's funny that this is coming out the same, or like this announcement is coming out around the same time as Square Enix's Avengers game, which has about zero hype going behind it. I
feel.
I hope that they can come out with this and make a good splash. I mean, again, it's Rocksteady, who I really fucking trust. I can't think of a bad game they've made, although they have been kind of stuck on making Batman Arkham games for about a decade now. But
I'm fine with that because, again, they're all good.
Yeah, and this is literally set in the same universe. Obviously, if you make it a multicast game, like you have to figure out what makes each of those characters different and fun to play.
Right.
But I trust them.
I think the only bad thing I can think of them is the Arkham Knight PC port was horrible.
And I'm pretty sure that wasn't even their fault.
Yeah,
that would happen.
Yeah. Remarkable Me in the chat says those are Avengers stunt doubles. And I think that is a pretty common opinion on that. Hayo, final topic. Bring us home. What are we talking about?
We're going to talk about shutting down of Mixer.
Yeah, please.
So like Kaiser touched on a little bit ago, if you weren't Ninja or Shroud and you were making your living on Mixer somehow, like so fucking long, buddy. The higher ups have decided we don't give a fuck about you. That's what they said, right? For starters, I'm a little surprised anybody was able to like make a living on Mixer.
I mean, it wasn't many people. Who
was watching on Mixer? Actually, for those who did use Mixer, they found that it was just like a wholly better product than Twitch.
Yeah.
Like it was easier to stream on Mixer. It was easier to watch on Mixer. There was less stuttering and such. Probably because you had 20,000 people on the platform at any given time instead of 20 million.
Yeah.
Which is going to make it easier to use the website because there's less people on it. You're using up less bandwidth. So, of course, in my opinion, but hey, whatever. I'm sure, Twitch, you take away 80% of its viewer base, you're going to be like, wow, this is actually a really clean fucking experience. But whatever, right? The fact that they've decided to sort of merge with Facebook, I'm wondering why, Facebook was the decision as opposed to maybe YouTube. I think it's really only between Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
Because you're not merged with Twitch because you were sniping people from them. It's like, hey, just take everybody back. We're sorry.
Yeah.
We didn't mean it, right? You wanna like play some games together in the future or something? We got a cloud service coming out soon. Maybe you want to throw some people our way. I think even when they were doing this, closing a Mixer, they didn't really tell the people working on Mixer that it was closed.
Nobody knew. Not like nobody in the industry actually knew until the same day that everyone, like the public, knew.
Everyone knew at the same time,
which is
right?
wild.
It doesn't matter if you're on the inside or outside. It's like, yeah, this shit is bye.
Yeah.
So the actual people who are making a living, like working with Mixer and stuff, it's like, oh, I'm unemployed now. I don't get to move over to Facebook to work for them. I'm just fucking done.
Yeah.
Now's a real good time to be looking for a job, eh? So it's like whether or not they're on the business side of things or on like the social side of things, if you are like in the game sphere, you're getting fucked. Like from every position and angle, it doesn't matter where you're at. You're screwed, dude. It's over for you, which is why I've decided to not play any more games ever again because it sucks out here. It's a struggle, being a gamer. It's hard.
So what you're saying is gamers have it the worst and that they should in fact rise.
I don't know if we're dude. We've been persecuted for so fucking long.
God damn it. Yeah, I set that joke up, so that's fine. That's on me. Yeah, it's a wild situation. I think it is made all the more funny. I did kind of make fun of this when we were going through the topics, that literally like the day before this, there was a big piece that came out of like, hey, there's some serious racism going on at like Mixer's headquarters. And then the very next day they announced that they're closing.
BT dubs were closing.
Which I do think had nothing to do with each other, but like, oof, that's a bad look to go out on, And yeah, them partnering with Facebook is odd. I do wonder if they did approach Google to partner with YouTube, because that would Musica thinks no.
Google has Stadia, competes with xCloud. Zero chance they went to each other.
Ah, good point. Yeah. Very good point. Yeah.
That's assuming Google knows Stadia exists.
Mixer's choices were Facebook and Twitch was not really a choice.
Yeah, they can't. It wouldn't be them partnering with Twitch. It would be Twitch acquiring them. Really.
Yeah, 100%.
That's going to do it for this week. And so, Musicy, Dapper Dastard, and Ian, it's time to go home and become family men, because this week's winner is the People's Champion, Hayo. 5-9-0.
Baby, Ichiban! Let's go! I didn't even get my fucking... I would have killed the Pokemon League topic. I'm telling you right now. Which one did Mizuki do first? I would have killed that one too. I was about to blow this shit out of the water.
Well, it doesn't...
stuck with fucking Mixer.
It doesn't matter, because he killed it anyways. Hayo, are you ready for your minute to win it?
Actually, yes.
All right. Knock it out of the park, my dude.
All right. We're going to do a quick rundown of all cops are bastards, right? If you don't think that, it's because A, you don't know what it means, or B, let's not go into B. Everybody knows what B is, right? All cops are bastards is talking about how as an institution, the police force is one that doesn't allow for good people to exist without being punished. We've seen with a few different cops when they report that their comrades or superiors are doing something wrong, they actually get punished for doing this. They get there's this retribution in place that there's like this brotherhood. It's a cult over there, right? This organization that has this monopoly on violence. They need to make sure that they continue to sort of subjugate the population that they're working for. So when we're talking about all cops are bastards, we're not talking about individual people in the force. We're talking about the institution as a whole, which is something that's bad and needs to be sort of gotten away with, and it's gotten away from in its current form. We got to do something about this. That's what I asked. There we go.
You heard it here first, folks. Around the monitor, all cops are bastards.
As someone
Hopefully
who
you
has
didn't hear it here first. Honestly.
Yeah, really.
Hopefully this is not.
I hope we're not introducing you to the concept.
As someone who has a Bachelor of Arts in criminal justice, I can confirm that there is absolutely no part of the criminal justice system that is not tinged with institutionalized racism. It is every single part of the system, from the cops to the courts to the prisons. There's racism in all of it. Can attest to that.
There's if you haven't been reading a lot of the stories that are being posted out there, definitely recommend you do, because woof. Anything to plug this week, gentlemen?
I mean, after that,
I guess I should say this week I am going on a brief vacation. I don't have a video essay prepared for this week because I'm a little short on time. So instead, I'm going to put up the full video of our video game Jeopardy from the Color of Change donation stream. Look forward to that. It was very fun. Hayo put up one hell of a fucking fight. That was insane, that first one. And then the second one, Ian just steamrolled everybody.
Ian just blew everyone out.
Yeah, it was.
You're welcome.
I've debated cutting that out because it's just not fun to watch. But
it's bad.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But next week, potentially, we might see something from Mizuki. But also this week, we will be seeing Around the Controller.
We will see something from Musica.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Twitch, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. We'll be doing Around the Controller. Topic of the week is how games age, or why do games age over time? What makes timeless games timeless? What makes good games from the Super Nintendo suck balls now?
Nothing.
Should be one.
However, in case it says Mizuki content. But I think that's going to do it for this week. Until next time, this has been Around the Monitor. And I actually did somebody hit their mic on the salute?
Yeah, I definitely did that. Yeah.
All right, I gotta.